Assalamualaikum. My name is Fatin Farzana binti Shamsuddin and my ID student number is 20204551 and 666. And next, I introduce you to my friends.
Hi and Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Nur Ainin Sylvia binti Azmi with MAT222 number 2020491698.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Kamilia Afikah binti Kamaluddin. My student ID is 2020451806. I am from class CS1433A.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Zarikwan bin Muraza and my student ID is 2020890202.
So today we are gonna talk about the topic of logically equivalence. So first of all, what does it mean with logically equivalence? So it is mean that when two statements such as statement P and statement Q are said to be logically equivalent to each other. So you can see the at my above is the symbol for P is logically equivalent to Q. So it is mean that when the statement of P is said true, if and only if statement Q is also true, and otherwise, when the statement P is said to be false, then statement Q also must be false. Then it is mean that they are logically equivalent to each other. Next is when two propositions such as A and B are said logically equivalent if their truth table are identical to each other. So in the table next to me, you can see that I make the table of statement and also symbol. So there is 4 statement and also 4 different ways of symbols. So first of all is conditional, which is P implies to Q, and next inverse, which is negation of P implies to negate Q, and converse, which is Q implies to P, and the last one is contrapositive, which is negation of Q implies to negation of P. So from here, we can see that when the statement from conditional is changed to inverse, that means we need to put the negation from the symbol, which is negation P implies to negation Q. And for the converse, we change the places from the conditional, which is from P implies to Q. When it turns to a converse, there will be Q implies to P. And the last one is contrapositive, which are taken from the converse, and we just need to put negation before them. So in this topic of logically equivalence, the truth table need to be identical, which is first, it need to be identical between the statement of conditional and also the contrapositive, and next, it needs to be identical between the inverse with the converse.
For question 1, we have to determine whether negation P and negation P or Q and negation P and negation Q are logically equivalent or not. So let's go to the truth table. We use the truth table to check the result, either it is identical or not. So look at for the variable that we have in both statements, there is P and Q. So P and Q is 2 type of variable, and it means that we have 4 possibility of the result. So P and Q, we will remember the repetition of truth value. There is P are true and false, and true false for Q. And then for negation P will be opposite with the repetition, that is FFTT, and same for negation Q will be TF. And negation P and Q will be FFTF. We check for all the possibility for the statement that we have, and lastly we check the equivalent between both statements, so we bring out the two statements into the table. After that, we make a comparison between both statements to make sure the conclusions are similar to each other. Then we check that both of the statements have the same result, so we observe that both statements are identical, so we conclude that the statements are logically equivalent.
Next, I will explain for the question 2, which is for the non-identical. So, the question 2 asks for us to determine whether P and Q and also the negation of P and Q implies to P are logical equivalent or not. Then, for the solution, firstly, we must do the table to find its truth value for the given statement. So, we put each of the statement into the table, which are P, Q, P and Q, the negation of P and Q, and also the negation P and Q implies to P. After that, we can find for its true value for each statement. So, firstly, for the P, we got true, true, false, false, and Q, true, false, true, false. For the P and Q, we got true, false, false, false. For the negation P and Q, we got false, true, 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 and for the last one, which is the negation of P and Q implies to P, we got answer of true, true, false, false. Okay, for information, why P and Q only have one true answer? It is because to get the true answer, the both P and Q must be true. If not, the P and Q will be false. For the second one, which is the negation of P and Q, we just negate the statement before it, which is P and Q, where we got the answer of true, false, false, and false. That's why the answer for the negation P and Q, we got the answer of false, true, true, and also true. Then for the last one, why we got the answer of negation P and Q implies to P, which is true, true, and also false, false. It is because if P is true, then Q is false, then P implies to Q will be false. Otherwise, P implies to Q will be true. After we got all the true value for each statement, so here we can conclude that since the truth value for the given statements are not identical, so it is not equivalent to each other.
So for example number 3, the question asks to write the inverse, converse, and contrapositive for the given statement. Simplify your answer. So the statement is P and negation of Q or negation of T and P implies to negation of Q and T. Okay, to find the answer for this question, we need to know how the symbol will work. Okay, so for inverse, we negate for both hypothesis and conclusion, and then we simplify it. Okay, so it will be negation of P and negation of Q or negation of T and P implies to negation of Q and T. And then we will simplify it. The answer will be negation of P and Q or T and P implies to Q and negation of T. Okay, so for converse, we need to switch the place, which is from hypothesis to conclusion became conclusion to hypothesis. Okay, so the answer will be negation of Q and T implies to P and negation of Q, or negation of T and P. Okay, for the last one, contrapositive. To define for the statement of contrapositive, we also need to change for the position, which is from hypo became conclusion, conclusion became hypothesis. And then we need to negate for it also. Then we need to simplify it. Okay, for this question, it will be negation of Q and T implies to negation of P and negation of Q, or negation of T and P. So we will get the answer is Q and negation of T implies to negation of P and Q, or T and P. I think that's all for example 3. I hope you guys understand all the example that we shown to you guys. So, to conclude our explanation about logical equivalent, in conclusion, logical equivalent can be applied in many situations in our daily life. Secondly, logical equivalent between two sentences can be a matter of the form of the two sentences, not just what they are about. Lastly, all of the explanation made us understand more about logical equivalent.